Chapter 12. Something happened. Under his heightened concentration, Zhu Tui could see everything in the 3-meter area around him extremely clearly. Zhu Tui saw the middle-aged stalker had seen Zhu Tui approach him. The stalker scanned past Zhu Tui's face with an extremely casual gaze. It looked as though he was just observing a passerby. He disguised himself well. However, at this moment, Zhu Tui took action. Splash! Zhu Tui tossed the scorching vanilla milk tea toward the stalker's face. The temperature of the milk tea must have been 85 degrees, if not higher. It was too sudden. It was too close. Zhu Tui had tossed the cup just inches away from the stalker. No one could have expected Zhu Tui, who looked handsome and kind, to suddenly attack a passerby as if he was insane. During the instant he tossed the cup of milk tea, Zhu Tui followed through with the momentum and kicked his leg upward. This was the first time he had used a forbidden technique. He had never used it even when he was fighting the other class in the little forest. Boom! Zhu Tui's kick landed accurately between the middle-aged man's legs. He had put a great deal of force behind the kick. He had not wasted these 3 years of physical training. He was a muscular, 8-meter tall man. His strength did not pale in comparison to that of an adult. Furthermore, based on official estimates, the level C genetic compound chain allele elixir that he was administered yesterday enhanced an individual's physical attributes by at least 10%, no matter how many genetic base points the individual unlocked. Zhu Tui immediately saw the stalker in short pants instinctively closed his eyes. However, the stalker had not had the time to fully close his eyes when his face became extremely contorted. He was hit by the scorching milk tea. He was hit at a vital spot. It was a brutal attack. Studies of modern human anatomy taught him that a portion of a human body's vital spot would not change unless the life form underwent a qualitative transformation. Tossing the milk tea, kicking Thigruan, jumping out of Thiwei, Zhu Tui did all 3 steps in one fluid motion. It was as if those 3 actions were done at the same time. It all happened swiftly. Everyone around him, including the 2 special agents, did not manage to react. While they were still trying to understand what had happened, Zhu Tui, who had quickly jumped toward the special agent who was also in the queue for the milk tea, shouted, "He is from the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization. Mr. Special Agent, capture him quickly." Zhu Tui had directed this shout toward the other special agent in front of him who still had fried chicken in his mouth. That special agent was shocked. Zhu Tui also intentionally pushed the special agent in front of him. However, the special agent was well trained. He had come to his senses at this moment. He tilted his body slightly and avoided Zhu Tui's push. However, his expression was still a little confused. The people around them burst into commotion when they heard the name Dawn Salvation Trader Organization. They instantly ran off in all directions. Most of the bad news they heard in the news in this era was caused by the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization. The 2 special agents were confused. They could not understand something. How did their identities as special agents get exposed for no rhyme or reason? A member of the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization was also exposed in a similar manner. Before this, the member of the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization was just a few meters in front of them. Yet, they had not realized it at all. However, what happened next was clear as day. Their mission today underwent an irreversible accident. If they did not deal with the so-called member of the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization even if they knew about it, the outcome they would face would not be as simple as being lectured by their superiors when they returned to the agency. Of course, they did not have to do much. The middle-aged man that the target student had identified as a member of the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization was arched on the ground. He looked like a shrimp. His face was covered in milk tea, veins popping out of his neck. He looked like he was in extreme pain. It made the onlookers feel pain just looking at him. Just how much force did the teenager use? The 2 agents had to go through the formalities and bring the middle-aged man back for investigation. It would be great if the man was truly a member of the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization. If not, the teenager would have to foot the medical bills. He would be slapped with a lawsuit if the man became disabled. However, just as the 2 special agents were about to capture the target, the middle-aged man, who was squirming on the ground, suddenly shot his leg out. The kick caused the air to crackle. The special agent who was walking toward the target crossed his arms to block the impact. However, he only managed to dispel the force after he rolled twice backward. Zhu Tui squinted. Were these two special agents useless? The next instant, while the middle-aged man had pushed against the ground and was about to leap up, the other special agent's heavy punch landed on the middle-aged man's temple. The middle-aged man immediately fell heavily onto the ground. The two special agents, whose gaze had changed quickly, pounced forward. They pulled the target's arms behind his back and tied it with a super boron rope. The super boron rope automatically tightened itself around man's wrists with the gentle press of a button. It once again made the middle-aged man look like a shrimp. "Lad, you also have to come with us," the special agent told Zhu Tui. "I've made a contribution, right?" Zhu Tui asked. "You will have made a contribution if he really is from the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization. If not, you have to pay for his medical bill and bear the legal responsibilities," one of the agents explained. "Come with us now," the other agent said, flashing his identification document. "All right, there shouldn't be a problem if I inform my teacher, right?" Zhu Tui confirmed, "Of course not." At this moment, the two special agents suddenly felt a little anxious. How were they going to report this to their superiors? This plan had just started, but it had already failed by their hands. The reason the plan failed was also very weird. They could already predict how they were going to get chewed out in the future. Even though this situation had happened at the milk tea store, it only took about 20 minutes from start to end. That included the time Zhu Tui spent in the queue. The entire tussle only took 1 to 2 minutes. The meeting on the top floor of the Jincheng Prefecture Executive Building was still underway. This was not a useless meeting that was prevalent 100 years ago. This was a serious meeting. They had to send all of the new college students from the Jincheng Prefecture all around the country in 3 to 5 days while ensuring their safety. This was a massive operation. There had to be multi-agency cooperation and a consolidation of resources. The most important problem faced by the military, the Special Intelligence Division, and the police department was how to best send the students off in batches. Special Intelligence Division Captain Zhou Sheng was discussing the issue of a route with a few military commanders when his communication device suddenly vibrated. The communication device of a division captain of the Special Intelligence Division like Zhou Sheng had been specially set up. The frequency of the vibration signaled that his subordinates were sending him a message through a unique portal. Under normal circumstances, his subordinates would only send him a message through this unique portal if the information was very urgent. Zhou Sheng was a little displeased. However, he still knitted his brows and turned on his communication device. His mouth opened slightly after he scanned through the message. His expression froze. At this moment, the communication device of Zhao Saxui also vibrated. And Zhao Saxui arched her slender brows slightly after she read the message. 2 faint dimples appeared at the side of her cheeks. She smiled. Cold sweat instantly formed on Zhou Sheng's forehead. However, he still had no choice but to interrupt Liu Tianhu, who was discussing a few matters with several military commanders and officials. "Commander Liu, something happened." Liu Tianhu did not look up. "What happened?" "Commander, that student." "Which student? Make yourself clear." "The student in our bait plan, Zhu Tui. Something happened." Liu Tianhu raised his head abruptly. He stared at Zhou Sheng like a tiger. "Did he get abducted? How do your men do things?" Zhou Sheng cowered from being screamed at. "Commander, it's not like that." That student, Zhu Tui, he proactively took action and acted in the name of capturing a member of the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization. He took down the third unknown stalker with our special agents. "Oh?" Liu Tianhu glared at Zhou Sheng. His eyes spewed fire. He had been hit with too much information. If that was true, it would mean that the bait plan that they had placed much importance on had failed. Not only had it failed, but they might have alerted the enemy. That would be a problem for any subsequent plans. Their only hope now was that the so-called unknown third stalker was not a member of the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization. There might be a chance for them to salvage the plan if he was not from the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization. Is that so? Liu Tianhe's tone was exceptionally cold. Anyone could hear the fury in his voice. Basic investigations reveal that the person we captured is an unregistered genetic liberator. It's highly likely that he is a member of the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization. Special Intelligence Division Captain Zhou Sheng sighed. He was mentally prepared to get chewed out in front of his many colleagues. Colonel Liu Tianhe's chest rose and fell rapidly. His gaze moved away from Zhou Sheng's face and finally landed on Zhao Saxui, who was silently sitting in her seat. His entire face was trembling. He wanted to devour her. Commander Liu, is something wrong? Do you want to check my communication device? And Zhao Saxui said softly. Liu Tianhu nearly exploded in fury when he heard that. And Zhao Saxui had gotten his permission when she sent the reply. Boom! Liu Tianhu slammed his fist heavily on the meeting table. The supplies on the table shook and fell everywhere. You guys continue. Special Intelligence Division, Police Department. All of the military personnel of the Preparatory Defense Force ranked Colonel and Lieutenant and above, emergency meeting now.